Last night, we got to see more of the Cowboys on episode 2 of Hard Knocks. And Dak, you know, he was continuing his shoulder rehab. Zeke was being Zeke. And Micah Parsons still wanting to play more snaps during the preseason. Shannon, what was your biggest takeaway from last night? There were more storylines last night.
Yeah, it was. Skip, I like this. I like the storylines. I like the Kamara kid telling the story of him, how his family came from the Ivory Coast, was a refugee, and his mom was going to get an opportunity to see him for the first time when he went to Arizona. I love the Barsham kid, even though he got injured, Skip, him imitating the D-line coach. And the D-line coach, Skip, I'm listening to this dude, I'm like, hold on, ain't no way this dude a D-line coach. I'm like, this dude sound like he from overseas. Well, he actually is, but I'm like, huh? So I love that aspect of it. I love the interminglings where they show Skip when they're doing the joint practices. And CeeDee Lamb goes to one of the DBs, asks CD, and CD, they're like, yeah, I put that work in. Because that's actually what happens, Skip, is we have joint practice and I had a bunch of them. First thing we do, hey, go ask the defense, how y'all do? Man, we did all right, what'd you do? You already know what I did. So, Skip, I love the interaction. I love the DeMarcus, the D-Law. I didn't know that he was that big of a family man. I didn't know he had actually brought his family out there to be close. It was like, wow.
That's what Hard Knocks does.
Yes. Yeah. It humanizes people. It lets you see a different side of them that you didn't know. And so that's what I was like. They had a little bit of Jerry talking to Michael Irvin about how good CeeDee Lamb looked and how good he's going to be this upcoming season. But, Skip, that's what I loved about last night episodes. I got to see stories. Since I've been in TV, Skip, I'm all about stories. It's not about wins. Yeah, you want to win. Yes, it's wins and losses. But it's stories. Narratives. Can you tell a story? To paint this kid to see, kid had never really played football, earned a scholarship to Kansas, stuck last year on the practice squad with the Cowboys. Now he's actually trying to make the roster.
And about 235
pounds. Got an uphill battle.
That's an uphill battle.
Got an uphill battle.
Yep.
Do it. Everything I do is for my mom. And it was just like, okay, Skip, I can get down with this type of hard knock. But still, your guy Mike McCarthy.
They led with it. It opened up episode 2.
He need to go to some motivational speaking. He need to get Tony Robbins. He need to go to 10 speakers. He need to go get some motivational speaking classes.
To me, you either have that or you don't.
You do, Skip. It is. That's a God-given ability.
It is. And he does not have it, and he is forcing it as hard as he can force it. And he tries to sort of fuel it up with some F-bombs, and they just drop dead.
Skip, before you go, Skip, sorry to cut you off. Did you see when he's up there talking and they pan in the room and guys just looking?
Yeah, did you see anybody coming out of their chair over this?
That's your guy.
And what got me, I don't want to dwell on this because, look, he just overmatched. He's on Hard Knocks.
Right.
And he's trying as hard as he can to sell himself as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys when we all know the owner and operator is that guy upstairs, right? And his son.
Yes, the two Joneses.
The two Joneses. And so, remember, he's given a motivational speech that sounds like it's for the Super Bowl, and it's actually for the second preseason game, which for the Arizona Cardinals was their first. Right? It's a camp fodder game in which your starters are barely, if even going to play.
I don't even know if any offensive starters even played.
No, they did not. So what are you wasting your breath for? Well, we're going to
remember this team. We played this team last year.
Yeah. We played. 40% of you are new. I want you to know we played this team last year. By the way, that team on Monday Night Football
beat the brakes
behind. And he says, we're going to put it on their ass tonight. You are? Why? What? Right? What's the point?
Save some of that.
Yeah, save a little bit of it. Obviously everybody wants to do their job and make the team. It's mostly about a guy, the Tebows of the team trying to make the team, right?
Right.
And then he says, we're a popular team. We're not in this to be effing popular. What are you talking about? Okay, so we did that. We did it hard last week. And again, that is not his strength.
That's not his forte.
I used to hear all the time from a lot of people inside football that in his glory years in Green Bay, he was one of, if not the best play caller in pro football.
Right.
And now he's not calling plays, obviously.
Kellen Moore is.
He's in play. He was already there.
Right.
And to Mike's credit, he kept Kellen Moore because Dak loves Kellen Moore and has a good vibe with him, good connection with him. So I don't know. Now, Mike is not doing what Mike did best because he's another classic case of how many of these guys do we see? He was a really good offensive coordinator, and he made his bones in this league. He made his way as an offensive coordinator. Well, does that qualify you to be the CEO of a team?
And he probably told
speech maker?
He probably told Jerry that I'm going to call the plays.
And Jerry said no. Right?
You think Jerry said no?
I believe that.
Right.
Yeah, he probably did. But again, Kellen Moore is already in place.
Right.
Quickly, speaking of Jerry, Jerry often makes you laugh for the wrong reasons because you're laughing at him, not with him. But he actually cracked a joke last night that made me laugh. And I've been around Jerry a whole lot in my life, and rarely, if ever, can I remember a time when he made me laugh where he actually had a funny line.
Right.
So he's talking about the new defensive line coach who's from, I think, London, or he's from
he played with London Monarchs.
Yeah. And he says, this is Jerry, that defensive line coach, I look at him and he looks like he's from Arkansas. I listen to him, and he sounds like Winston Churchill. And then Jerry starts quoting from the most famous Winston Churchill speech from 1940 to the House of Commons with the Germans at their doorstep.
Right.
And remember, it was we're going to fight them on the beaches. We're going to fight them in the streets. We're going to fight them in the fields. And Jerry starts quoting from the Winston Churchill speech, and it's funny because he's doing his D-line, He's doing Winston Churchill's voice, and so that made me laugh. But we didn't see a whole lot of Jerry. We're going to talk later about CeeDee Lamb. Okay, now I'm going to just say this one time. I'm going to be a Cowboy fan.
Okay.
And I went to my first game when I was 10 years of age at the old Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas, so my fan is going to come out now. My two biggest takeaways from episode 2, and you could also say from just both episodes together.
Okay.
CeeDee Lamb and your man, Micah Parsons, that you said pre-draft, you said he's going to be the best defensive player in the draft. Obviously, I wanted Patrick Surtain, and I still believe that your Broncos got a star in Patrick Surtain.
He definitely looked good on Saturday.
Hey, he's just a stud. And so I would have taken him just because it was a need position.
Right.
And as a bookend Alabama cornerback for my other guy, Trevon Diggs, obviously, I would think you'd be set maybe for 10 years.
Right.
But Micah Parsons is going to be a star in this league. And I love what he was yelling at the end of you could see him when he came out of the game at Arizona. You know, I don't got to talk about it. I be about it.
Right.
Well, he is being about it. And you can see him. He is all over the field.
Sudden. He's
in the middle of everything.
Yeah, Skip, he just has what you can't teach.
You can't teach any of that. It's magical where you just have sense.
Right.
You call it spidey senses, whatever it is. You just smell football, and you get there, and he's got such quickness at his size that, and it was interesting to watch him with BAD, Ben DiNucci, the backup quarterback. They're playing chess. He's a really good chess player, and I read that he beat Amari, who's the team champion at chess. So he's got a chess mind, and he said he made one blunder, and it cost him the game against DiNucci, right? But the point is, I'm impressed. He's already a very good chess player because his mind is working chess-like on the field, and you could see it. He's a couple of moves ahead. Sometimes he's too many moves ahead because he gets beat, you know, he just gets faked out of position. But again, is that not a new big jolt of electricity to that defense? He was sorely needed as an all over the field playmaker, just as Jalen Smith. I know it trended Saturday, or was it Friday? Friday night. Yeah, Friday night. Jalen Smith had the one play where he couldn't get outside. He just looks like he can't run anymore. I mean, it's gotten sad, but all of a sudden, here comes Micah Parsons. Well, you overpaid Jalen Smith because you gave him a big new deal, so he's going to be a big cap hit on the bench, and it looks like he's going to be mostly, to me, on the
remember,
bench.
you guaranteed his contract before the season. Like, as soon as the league year started, you guaranteed his contract.
March 5th,
But, Skip, I think the thing is that when you look at Micah Parsons, it's like, guys might be fast. Like, man, he can really run. And then you put him next to Usain Bolt. And you're like, you're not that fast at all. It's when you put Michael Parsons next to Jalen Smith. And then you see the differences in speed. And you're like, well damn, Jalen. But Skip, Jalen shouldn't even be playing. The injury that he had at the Fiesta Bowl that left him down there where they shredded his PCL, his ACL.
By the way, it was that same field that he was on Friday night.
So for him to have carved out a niche, have gone to a couple of Pro Bowls and get a second contract, Skip, I think that speaks to something. But yeah, he's starting to slow down. He's not the same player that he once was. But Michael Parsons, and looking at him and looking at his measurables and watching him play, there's very few guys that can take measurables, can run fast, can jump high, can do a short shuttle, can do all that, And then you put him on the field, and you're like, well, damn.
Yep.
Everything that he did there, he's doing here.
Yep.
He's one of those guys. Skip, I'm not saying he's going to be Ray Lewis. I'm not going to say he's going to be a Luke Kuechly. But he has instincts. And that's what the linebacker needs. He has instinct. Devin White has instincts.
Yeah.
Devin White is sudden. Devin's a little bigger than this kid. But this kid is sudden. This kid plays downhill. He gets
at that position to me, it's how fast can you run fast? Because it's how quickly do you react?
Right.
Because he's reacting quicker than others react. So he's getting up to top speed because he is anticipating better.
Because you got to be, a lot of times, Skip, you got to beat the guard to the point. Because that guard weighs 300 pounds. He gets on you, he's going to put you on your back.
There was one time a guard got up into him and he just...
He understands it's all about
tossed him away.
It's all about leverage. But Skip, he looks to be the real deal, and I can't wait till they actually get in the. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing shapes out. Now, this is their game. This is game 3 for them, game 2 for everybody else. I believe they're going to game plan. This is going to be like, okay, this is what they like to do in this down and distance. This is what we're going to do.
Okay.
I'm interested to see who starts and who plays. Because are they trending towards going with Keanu Neal and Michael Parsons?
It looks like it to me.
Or are they going to have Jalen Smith and Wolf Hunter in the starting lineup? So that's the thing that I'm looking for most. Who trots out there when they say, all right, one's up, who hits the field?